7 overtures. 3 of them had to do with changing the authoritative interpretation, which has been in place since 1991, regarding who can get married. Can you get married in a church? Can a same-gender couple get married in a church? Can a Presbyterian pastor do that service? And that's been in place since 1991. There were 3 overtures to change that authoritative interpretation, and the committee chose one and revised it and modified it and then approved it. There was also 2 overtures regarding changing the Book of Order, changing the Directory of Worship 4.9 and following. And there are a couple different takes on that. Again, the committee chose one and worked on that one, modified it, addressed it, and particularly I believe it was that overture we added language to. We'd had a commissioner's resolution that didn't quite measure up to being a commissioner's resolution, so the language of that commissioner's resolution was added to the Book of Order, which basically said that no pastor or church will be forced to perform weddings that is against their conscience. So that was an important piece as well. The other overtures were defeated without much effort, without big debates. Leslie.
What's your understanding of what's going to be in the minority report? I'm sorry. What's your understanding of what's going to be in the minority report? Because there were a couple of different things.
Right. I think what will principally be in the minority report will be the piece that came at the very beginning, which the committee considered and defeated, and that was answering all 7 overtures, saying that we understand the pain, we understand the difficulty, but a lot of churches aren't ready to make this shift, and we're concerned for the breaking of the church. And so that, I believe that's pretty much how it went.
And I just want to add something to that. I think our committee members, we stressed listening, and we heard a lot of pain. We were sensitive to that, and I think by the end of our committee, we had embraced how do we work for peace, reconciliation in the church, and we all, I think most of us, if not all of us, felt very, very good about that extension.
Can I ask one follow-up question to that? The piece that voted down about setting up a task force to work for 4 more years, that would not be part of the minority report?
I don't believe that was a part of that was the...
No, yeah, Diana said no.
No, that was not part of that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Carmen.
I'm Carmen Farrenberg from the Presbyterian Layman. I'd like to pick up on the concern that was identified there at the end of that comment about the concern about this breaking the church. I understand that you all approved some kind of a task force, some kind of...
It's not really a task force.
Okay.
It's a direction to OGA and to the
Presbyterian Mission Board.
Presbyterian Mission Board. That's our name now.
No, it's
Presbyterian Mission Agents.
but it's to the board.
It's to the board,
not to the
which is
agency.
to the elected.
Agency board.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, whatever. It's, you know where it's
I
from.
couldn't speak up.
Thank you. So it was directing them to be a part of visiting presbyteries, to work on issues, to hear pain and work on issues of reconciliation. There are a number of us in the room who have had watched our home churches leave the denomination, had pain of seeing family members ostracized because they wouldn't leave the denomination, wanting to be faithful where God's called us, as well as watching your friends go somewhere else. And that pain was acknowledged in the committee. That's the other part of the church. I think this was an acknowledgement that there is a large church here and not just one camp or another camp. And that was encouraging to hear. That we want to not just talk about reconciliation, we want something to happen. We want to do reconciliation. And it's so important that the prime agencies of the church need to be involved in making that happen.
I'd like to ask a follow-up question. I know that Hunter Farrell testified in your committee that they feel confident that they've identified something like 17 global partners that are going to break fellowship with the PCUSA if we move in this direction. Could you share what, if any, conversation your committee had in terms of reflecting on how this might be best communicated to them?
I think that's going to need to be, we didn't really talk about how that would be communicated to mission partners, feeling that we didn't talk about that. We heard his report, appreciated his report, it was part of the consideration. It was an effort to get all the consequences in front of people to discuss when they're making decisions.
Any other questions? I just had a text saying that Stephen Choi is running they decided to go until 5:30, so we'll leave it up to you if you want to wait around, but they must have started to make some progress.